What's going on, Master Duel fans? James here again. I decided to call it early on this season at the time recording that this video is getting posted, only because two events made it happen. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm actually okay with nothing but good old platinum as per usual. So deck profile for you guys to showcase would be Vernusylph Deskbot. Vernusylph Deskbot happens to be like one of the most different but insane variants that I have worked with for quite some time, and all I can say is that the deck can function way too well if you happen to have the correct hands of all correct hands going second most of the time for the sake of the OTK with just one punch. And if for some reason my opponents make me go first, we usually be going synchro shenanigans between Beast and Barkion and so on. So with that being said, before we get things started on this profile, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. You guys know the good stuff. Anyways, the Vernusylph cards to start off. 1 Flowering Fields, 2 Awakening Forests, 2 Flourishing Hills, 2 Misting Seedlings, 1 Thawing Mountains, 1 Vera Vernusylph Goddess, 1 Corolla, 1 Flower Buds, 2 Changing Seasons. Pretty much straightforward in the Vernusylph engine. And the Deskbot engine, 2 copies of 1, the only tuner of Deskbot crews. And when it comes to Deskbot 1, gains 500 attack and defense for each machine you control, self included, and not once per turn, assuming that if you have multiple copies, if 2 or more machines are special summoned at the same time while it's in the graveyard outside of the damage step, free special from the grave. 3 copies of Deskbot 2, not once per turn, upon special summon, get a Deskbot card from deck to hand, self included, spell included. And then all machines you control except the copy itself gains 500 attack and defense. 3 copies of Deskbot 3. You need to see this at all times when it comes to Deskbot 3s. When it comes to number 3, upon normal summon, this lets you get any Deskbot monster from your deck that isn't number 3 to the field. So it's an E-Telly, and then soft once per turn as a quick effect, target 1 Deskbot monster you control, extra 500 attack and defense for each Deskbot card you currently control until the end of this turn. Self included, scales included, the field spell included. And then this is the best card that can literally run over any monster in the game. Deskbot 004. 3 copies, by the way. 004 has the ability to, during the turn in which this effect is activated, no battle damage for the rest of the turn. The case is, during damage calculation in either player's turn, Foolish Burial 1 Deskbot from deck to graveyard that isn't number 4, and for each star sent off from 004, it gains that much attack and defense times 500. And then upon destroying an opponent's monster by 004, this lets me special summon 2 Deskbots with different levels from your hand and or graveyard in defense. So generally the idea is that if you have number 1 in your graveyard, when 004 destroys the opponent's monsters, you get 2 Deskbots from hand or from graveyard, and you also get number 1 back from graveyard to the field as well, in terms of its graveyard effect. And it makes it so that you are able to utilize the whole entire synchro summon shenanigans. 2 copies of 005 and 2 copies of 006. And when it comes to 005 and 006, they both do something upon normal or special summon. 005 lets you target 1 spell trap anywhere on the field, destroy it, and then 006 has the ability to target 1 monster anywhere on the field, even if it's face down, change its battle position. And then both shared the 500 attack boost as of for each face-up Deskbot monster in your extra deck. So 5 and 6 does the same thing. So minimum of 1,000, max 1,500, assuming that if I have a total of 3 of the Pendulum Deskbots in the extra deck face-up. And then the destruction effect is that if the pendulum scales of 005 and 006 are destroyed, 005 lets you reborn 1 of your Deskbots from your graveyard, while 006 lets you get a Deskbot card from grave to hand, spell included. Now, this is a general rule of thumb of all Yu-Gi-Oh! Mechanics in terms of Deskbots. The moment I have 005 and 006 on scale, you don't want to touch them, you don't want to destroy them, like after turn 2 or turn 3 in a grind game state. You don't want to touch them, you don't want to destroy them, because you'll just plus me and get me back in the game. For which, by the way, realistically, to my opponents, it's something you literally do not want to do that. Because if you plus me at least +1 or +2, I basically win the game on a follow-up. And then 2 copies of Deskbot Base. Deskbot Base has the ability where all Deskbot monsters on the field gain 500 attack and defense, simple, and then soft once per turn, reveal any number of Deskbot cards in your hand, another copy of base included, shuffle them back, and draw the same number. Basically, this is your Cosmo Town or Magical Mallet in terms of Deskbot variants. And then the last effect, let's just say we're not going to go over that because we literally do not have enough Deskbot names to be specific, so let's see. Nope, not enough. The case is, banish 9 Deskbot cards with different names, everything your opponent has from the hand, field, and graveyard getting shuffled back. That's like a late game scenario for the pure builds. Oh, and of course, the side effect is that whenever you have 5 and 6 on scale, you can't pen summon unless it's Deskbot. So, super simple side effect when it comes to pendulum summons. And then, in every Deskbot build, Deskbot can't be completed without 3 machine duplication. Technically, this can conflict with Deskbot Base as well as Deskbot 1, which can be really annoying, but the real targets you'd rather machine dupe would be 002 and 003, depends on what goes on in a simplified grind game state, but the realest machine dupe target is 002. Machine duplication has the ability to target 1 machine with 500 or less attack, special summon up to 2 copies within the same name from the deck as that face-up monster. Basically, if this card resolves, I automatically win the game from there on out. One copy of Tactics Talent, Call by the Grave, Cosmic Cyclone, 2 Forbidden Chalice, and in the hand traps, 3 Impermanents, and Ghost Bell. Can't forget about Ghost Bell being mentioned, of course. Favorite hand trap in terms of the Ghost Girl hand traps. And then from the main deck list, one card you didn't see or couple cards. Deskbot 9 and Urgent Schedule. It's only because I swear on my duelist's grave, I literally do not know about those cheesy lines involving the Urgent Schedule machine duplication. It's basically, I never really knew what I was doing at first until someone from one of the social media platforms is where someone basically showed me an insane line involving Urgent Schedule and machine duplication. That's basically +3, +4, or if both resolve, that's already a +5, and you're going to literally outgrind your opponent. Like, what deck in conjunction with the Vernusylph engine can generate you so much pluses like no tomorrow? So, and if I were to make up changes for the deck list in terms of the Deskbot engine, one of the Flourish Shells, one of the Awakening Forests, and then one of the Misting Seedlings is gonna get cut off. And then for the changes I would add would be 2 Urgent Schedules and Deskbot 9 for the sake of the most insane, cheesiest lines. And then extra deck, Naturia Beast, Naturia Barkion, both basic, and then Naturia Landois. Landois hasn't seen that much, to be quite honest, but never made it throughout the whole entire Season 26 ranked. Then there's Goyo Guardian. This card comes up quite a bit, just to out-bigger monsters to some degree. Psyhemoth, card is insane. This lets you get over Mekk-Knight Crusadia Avramax, even if it's under IP Masquerena. And then Samurai Destroyer, card's insane, because for starters, if it ever battles a monster, it's basically Armades, and at any time Samurai Destroyer gets destroyed by a card effect, because you're playing machines, you got too many targets in terms of machine monsters, self-included. So that means you have Jet itself, and then assuming that if they are in the graveyard because of the Vernusylphs, you have 005, 006, and then 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then speaking of Deskbot Jet, of course, this card is absolutely insane. Do not get me started on Deskbot Jet. So, Deskbot Jet is a level 10 Earth Machine Synchro, 500 both ways for some reason in terms of original stat lineup. So, when it comes to Deskbot Jet, 500 attack and defense for each Deskbot card everywhere on the field, self-included. And then, that's just my tablet, do not mind that. You can use one of the following effects of Jet per turn and only once that turn. So one effect or the other can't do both. You either target one Deskbot card you control, kill it, and if you do, E-telly any Deskbot. Otherwise, the second effect of Jet is basically Diamond Direwolf of Deskbots. As in, Target one Deskbot card you control and one face-up card anywhere on the field. Kill them. And then for the links, Mrs. Radiant, Basic, Nightmare Cerberus, Cross Sheep. In this particular setup involving Cross Sheep, the only thing that Cross Sheep's relevancy has in terms of the synchro build is basically all of your monsters getting buffed up, as long as you have at least one synchro just to push for damage. Also, Basic, Geonator, MVP, BLS Link, it's an Earth, so your Vernusylph restrictions do not matter at the slightest. And there were games in which I summoned out BLS Link by using level 7 or higher. So most cases, that would be Landois, Samurai Destroyer, Leo, and Jet to make the BLS Link. And then the BLS Link, on the other hand, in terms of anti-target and destruction, the effect, or the continuous effect, has came up a whole lot because players are having a tough time outing the BLS Link. And even if they were to out it, you also have Vera to revive that BLS Link for the sake of being a beat stick. And then Saryuja, of course, card is insane. And then the 15th and last flex spot before Season 26 started at the time this happened, that 15th flex spot was Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Tree. First off, it's Earth, so that means you have the ability to have Leo being revived off from Vera, or literally every Earth extra deck monster once summoned properly, which is extra nice. So the thing about Leo is that, again, players are having a tough time dealing with a 3100 Leo in terms of anti-target within card effects, except during my main phase 2. And then any changes for the extra deck, to be honest, absolutely everything is fine, to be honest. And all I can say is I definitely enjoyed the Deskbot variant of Vernusylph so much. It's basically, I wouldn't even mind playing this deck again in the near future. So with that being said, this has been James Polk on this unique Vernusylph Deskbot build. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you haven't already, smash the notification bell to keep yourself constantly updated. And we'll catch you guys next season.